Welcome to Members Only, a show featuring CMAC members and the projects they produce. My name is Charlie Vang, and I'll be your host for today. In this edition of Members Only, we'll be talking to Alvin Areizaga, the producer of the Journey Evening, and Ace Dunn, the producer of Valley Hackathon 2017. First up is Alvin Areizaga, the producer of the Journey Evening. Let's check out a clip.
That I could trust absolutely no one. So I made a decision. For the first time in my life, I was going to tell someone what happened to me as a kid, and this was going to change my life. This was going to set me on the path to being protected from my family, and we were going to come up with an idea of what to do with me because I was still 15, right? So I told my assigned social worker, because I'm still in the hospital, and she told me we needed to formulate a plan.
With Alvin says, stay healthy! Your family, your friends, and see how wonderful life really is, and get out there and adventure. And I will see you again on the trail. Again, my name is Alvin Areizaga, and I'm saying stay healthy! Ooh, my gosh, I'm leaving that on. I had a big ass booger. But hey, I'm grateful for what my body does.
All right, so welcome back, and here we are with Alvin Areizaga. Welcome to the show.
How you doing, Charlie?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, thank you.
Great. So before we begin, can you tell us a little bit about the Journey Evening?
Yeah, the Journey Evening, it's a story about Kelly Cass. It's her story about what she's gone through in her life and how she's been able to overcome. And so she's giving her testimonial, and there's some songs being sung in between. And so it's a nice show was made of it, and we wanted to catch it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an amazing thing what you can do when you're able to capture the voice of somebody in our community and show it through media. You know?
Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing. Now, to do to capture such a story, can you tell us a little bit more in depth of what it took for you? Maybe how many hours of planning, how many hours of editing, how long did your shoot take? Tell us more about that.
Yeah. Well, we kind of knew about how the show was going to go, so the planning didn't take very long to get it together. But editing is where a lot of the time went to in the show, because we recorded it live, got some nice B-roll to have nice different shots, you know, for the show. And but a lot of that part was new to me. I had not done a multi-camera shot before, and so it took me a little bit to learn how to do that in the editing room. And so it took quite a while, but I was very happy once I got done with it. And actually, to tell you the truth, we actually shot it 2 times, because the first time that we recorded, I had done some stuff wrong, so we wasn't able to sync up the sound with the video and a few different things. So luckily they were already planning to redo her speech, her talk, for another audience. And so we were able to go back and do another shoot, catch that, and then with that I took into the editing room, and that's the show that they're going to be seeing now. Yeah,
nice.
That CMAC has. So it's very fortunate to have that happen.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, and we learn a lot of things when we make mistakes, and it's a lot of things are part of the learning. And with the learning, now with the editing, we all know editing takes a long time. It's probably most of the most detailed, thorough, and rigorous parts of media production.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about some of the things that you learned from when you first started before the first take, and then what you learned from there, from those mistakes, and then what you learned to do for your second take?
Yeah. Well, one of the things when you're using multi-camera and you have another device getting sound is what we've all seen in movies, is they have that board that makes that clapping sound. And so to have something that mimics that whenever you start recording, all the cameras are on, to remember to make that sound so you can easily sync up all that whenever you get into the editing room. That helps out a lot. So that's one big thing that I learned. And
Nice.
then once I started editing and I was asking around, I learned that there is a program out there called Pluralize or something like that.
Pluralize,
And
yeah.
you can put all your videos and sound in there, and it'll help sync it up for you. I don't know how it does it, reads the codes, but it's able to line it up for you, and so it can help you out, if you do kind of make certain mistakes like that. But that helped out a lot too.
Oh, yeah.
For the second part, because I did that with the second part, and since everything was already in sync, it made it a lot easier and put it in sync for me, and then I was just able to go in there and start editing and not spend a lot of time trying to sync up those videos myself. So
Right.
those tools right there just helped out a lot.
Great.
A lot, yeah.
And that's exactly what it takes for us as media production people to do that.
Yeah.
Once we get everything synchronized, usually, and all the technical stuff out of the way, now we can actually focus in on what the actual story is about. So
Yeah.
now that we're talking about the story now, well, once we're done talking about the editing, what exactly was the story that you captured?
It was the story again of Kelly Cass, and we had a lot of help. It was put together by a lady. Her name is Sheree McCarthy. She runs. I don't want to say an organization, but she holds together like a workshop. It's called AIM, Accessing Your Magnificence, and what that does is it's like a weekend intensive where you do exercises and you get close, and what she said about it is like, it helps to crack open the heart, so like the new can seep in, like the new habits and new experiences, and
Oh, wow.
and so these talks come from that AIM, which is Accessing Your Magnificence. These talks come from that, and she's going to have guest speakers come share their stories, and so the first one was Kelly Cass, and when you watch the show, when you see it, you'll understand that she's been through a lot of crazy stuff in her life, and how she's overcome it. Because I don't want to give up too much, but there's violence in there, there's abuse and just some horrible things that happen in life, but she's not letting it stop her, and you can see through the talk that she gives that she's full of life, and that she's made changes, that she's pushed and kept going, and where she's at now it's amazing because of what she went through. People could easily say like, oh, look at she's like that because of this happened to her, but she's like, no, she's let those things be the reason why she's so strong today, and
Wow.
and it's an amazing story. So
Yeah, that is absolutely
yeah,
amazing.
if you guys can catch it, please watch it, share her story, because the more people that I think hear it, the more people that are going to be able to feel it and get some help out of it, because that's definitely what the whole thing was about. It's to get out there and help people and help heal through all the stuff we've been through in life, and see that it can happen.
Wow.
It's a good story. Yeah.
That's such an amazing thing what you've been able to do. Oftentimes it's usually those that have been through a lot of pain and hurt and been through so much that typically or usually those are actually some of the stronger characters in our community like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's such an amazing thing that you were able to capture. The Journey Evening, was it?
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. The Journey Evening, a musical event, is kind of like the whole name of it, and yeah, that's the whole reason for it is to just let people in the community know that there are those strong people out there that have been through some similar things they've been through, and so that they can go talk to those people and that they can learn from them, because Kelly is very open, Sheree's very open. I met them at a spiritual center here in Fresno called New Thought Community. And there's a lot of people like them there that have been through a lot of stuff, but they still walk around with their head up and smile on their face, and they're doing the best they can, and so it's good to know that there's people like that out there, and we want to raise awareness to that and let people know, like, hey, you can get better. You can get through anything that you're going through. And if you keep, your eyes focused on really what you want, what you know is true in your heart, it'll take you there. It'll take you there. So just keep going is the story that's getting told here. And so people, the more people that can get it, the more I feel it can help out.
Wow, that's absolutely powerful what you shared with us. And our audience may be wondering, this is such a powerful program. Where exactly can we find this, or where can we watch this, Alvin?
Well, they're gonna air it on CMAC on Channel 93. They'll have it on the website cmac.tv, and if they put in my name, Alvin Areizaga, in the producer on demand tabs, then it'll pop up there. I'm gonna put it up on my YouTube channel, just under my name, Alvin Areizaga, so they can go there and find it there.
Wow.
Yeah, it's gonna be open for everybody to share, so you can put it up on Facebook, on your Twitter, send it, to links to your cousins, because nowadays you can text that. You can text out links to people, and you don't even have to email. You just do it straight from your phone. So,
oh, right.
So spread it as much as possible. Go check it out. Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you so much for sharing with that. I think we have just a little bit of time left.
Yeah.
Now that you've done the Journey Evening, what's next for you? Any new programs or any new episodes of things?
Yeah, well, I have an existing project going on. It's called Alvin Says Stay Healthy. And so I'm continuing to put those videos out. I did a series of 39 videos that I have on my YouTube channel. And
nice.
Yeah, they just happened kind of naturally. I was just out there running. These thoughts would be going through my head already. And so I just started, recording myself while I was out there and just getting them out there. So it's real raw. It's real just fresh. It's just me just going out. But I have been running for over 20 years. So I've been an athlete for a long time. I was in the military. I've worked with vitamins. I went to school to be a pharmacy tech.
Oh wow!
I went to medical billing school. So I've learned different things about our bodies and how vitamins work, and read up on different things like how we evolved. So just over time, I've gotten just a lot of knowledge from doing what I do and being, into athletics and stuff like that.
Nice.
So yeah, that's just all that coming out. And and on my YouTube channel where I have them at, they're just the video straight. So what I did for CMAC is I created an intro and an outro, and had some friends help me shoot the footage, so we can go gain experience, and I'm able to give credit to them in these newer episodes that I'm putting out that have the opening and the ending. So it's more like a little kind of PSA ad or something. It's not just like a video popping out. So that's what I'm doing, and putting new episodes out of that. And yeah.
Well, that sounds really amazing. Yeah, that sounds great. Well, we have thank you for having us, or thank you for being here with us, Alvin. So there we have it. We have the Journey Evening, and we have Stay Healthy with Alvin. So great. Thank you so much for that. So now that we are done with Alvin, we're gonna go ahead and take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be joined by Ace Dunn, the producer of Valley Hackathon 2017. We'll be right back. All right, guys, so welcome back to Members Only. Joining us now is Ace Dunn, the producer of Valley Hackathon 2017. Let's take a look.
Is there anybody who does not know what first prize is? It's $2,000 in cash and prizes.
So it's really fun and it's really worth it. GDG Modesto really just like started to bloom the tech scene here. And so they started putting on this event 3 years ago, and it's just grown and grown every single year. Like it started with like only 20 people, now there's over 100 this year. So it's getting bigger every single year.
You don't know the power of the dark side.
All right, guys, so welcome back. And here we are with Ace Dunn. Ace, welcome to the show.
Hey, Charlie. Good to be here.
Good to have you here. All right.
Well, thank you. I'd like to welcome you, if I may, to the hair club, men's hair club for awesome hair.
I guess I'll do that too.
Yes.
Thanks.
And may I compliment you on your bouquet of flowers? You're lovely.
Yeah, they are lovely. Thank you.
Yes.
All right. So thank you for the intro. And so with you're the producer of Hackathon 2017, right?
Yes.
Well, obviously that's why
As
you're
far
here.
as I know.
Tell us a little bit more about what Hackathon 2017 is about.
Sure. Okay. So this takes place up in Modesto, California, and it is a 24-hour long event. This is their third year. So as you saw in the clip, the first 2 years, they only had a handful of people because really the Central Valley in general is building this hub for technology. There's a heck of a lot of technology that's flowing in to California, but predominantly we think of it as being the Bay Area, Silicon Valley,
Right.
but very little from the Central Valley.
Right.
But that is quickly changing. And Phil Land is one of the guys that helped organize this event. He put it all together. It was a really, really fun time. It was 24 hours straight. So the production took place over, well, I'd say a 36-hour long period.
Wow.
So no sleep for
Oh,
me.
yeah.
So
Yeah, that's a definitely team no sleep kind of production. Wow.
yeah.
Absolutely. Wow.
And it is bringing together a bunch of young entrepreneurs who have skill sets in coding, also web design, everything from web design to computer chip design. You saw a lot of Raspberry Pi, a lot of Raspberry Pi technology being used there. So these guys are programming their chips to suit the various purposes. There was really no theme for this event. Usually they do have a theme, but in this case, they had no theme. So these teams were able to produce just about any piece of technology they wanted to, from an API or an app to, well, the winning team actually produced this thing that actually read your brain waves,
Wow.
your alpha and beta brain waves, and changed.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome to watch these guys work.
Wow.
So they only have 24 hours to go from concept to build and then finish.
Wow. So it's kind of a misconception then. I thought that, for like a hackathon kind of thing, that what you really do is, set up like a server or something like that, and have some firewalls and have some other kind of security parameters, and then have the event of people come by and try to, all these developers try to break it down. I thought that that's what the hackathon was about. But what you're saying is actually being able to build from seedling to concept of a business idea.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, these guys have a term that they call scrumming. And scrumming, as I found out on this journey, is actually a term that's taken from rugby. And that's where all of them lock arms together and they're jockeying for position. So what they're saying is that scrumming is like how we push the ball up the field. So, and this is the way that modern technology is built from concept to finish.
Wow.
You've got a team of people that work oftentimes across the nation or across the entire world, and they all need to be able to collaborate and communicate and produce a project seamlessly together, step by step by step. So it's pretty wonderful to watch.
Wow. So how many participants came to the event? And
There were over 100 this year.
Over 100,
Yeah,
wow.
and Kobe says in the video that they started with maybe only a handful of people. In the year 1 and year 2, there were probably only 25 or so people.
Oh, wow.
But Phil and many others have helped to bring together a whole bunch of core sponsorship to provide a really nice cash and prizes. The first team that was in first place won over $2,000 worth
Nice.
of cash and prizes, and there were the top 8 teams. So it's well worth it. They catered the entire event. It was a lot of fun. So
That's awesome.
even though we were all exhausted, everyone in their own way, since I was doing video production and interviews and everything while they were doing technology, I did get the opportunity to go around to each one of these teams and kind of meet with them one-on-one and kind of dig into what each one of them were up to.
Nice. Well, thank you for sharing the event with us, so that way we have a better sense of what exactly happened.
Look for it in 2018 too.
Oh yeah.
Because it's coming up.
Nice. Now, as far as now we have a good understanding of what you filmed, can you tell us a little bit more about what actually went into it? I mean, you said that it was like, it was a 24-hour event, but that was a 36 straight hour production. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, happy to.
Great.
Charlie. Happy to tell you about it. Because it's kind of an interesting story. I really didn't have any preconceived, or I didn't have any knowledge of this event prior to, well, Rick Gomez had mentioned to me weeks before that this event was going to take place. I know what hacking means. I know that it's, generally speaking, it's engineering. Even though it has a bad kind of name attached to it, it's really just taking one thing and then something else and then building some brand new thing. So I had an understanding of what it was all about. But other than that, we were just headed up there, and I didn't know. I mean, when you produce something, you try to be as prepared as possible. But
Right.
I was all by myself. So I had my camera and my tripod. I had 2 wired lavalier mics, XLR cables, lighting setup and all that. And so I was just primarily focused on how am I going to get as much during this 24-hour period as I possibly can, i.e. interviews and B-roll and all that stuff. But what happened was that the concept that I had originally had changed after I sat down with Phil Land and had a chance to speak with him one-on-one and talk about the Central Valley and how it is that we're going to get some of these Silicon Valley companies to start coming into the Central Valley. He inspired me to actually incorporate a lot of Modesto in there, which is where the opening sequence comes from.
Interesting.
Since I had 24 hours, I figured I could film in the same place. I'd never attempted to do time-lapse photography before, but I figured I could get dusk and I could get dawn. And if I could get dusk and dawn and enough of it and open the shutter speed and so that was where that opening sequence came from. And then we went out at 2 o'clock in the morning and interviewed some people coming out of the bars and stuff like that, just to get a feel for Modesto, because they're trying to gather technology into the valley, and they're doing a great job of it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We're doing the same thing here in Fresno.
Yeah.
Check us out at CMAC if you haven't.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. It's just 36 hours. That's a ton of things. So it took that long for production, but how about the editing part?
The editing part, since I had a pretty good concept of where I was going to begin, and I knew it was going to be a short. I was going to make it less than 10 minutes because it's kind of part PSA, part advertisement, part documentary. But you have to keep people's attention. So I think a mistake that a lot of people make is that they try to shoot for a 15 or 30-minute production when that's way too long. You're only going to really encapsulate somebody's attention for a short period of time. So the two major things that I learned from this one, and I learned something new from every production, was audio. The very first opening sequence had him speaking, and then there was somebody in the background speaking over him. So I had to use the audition tools, use the spectrum analyzer, and then draw out. And I had never done that before, so I had to learn how to do that.
Wow.
And then I wanted some really nice looking lower thirds, so I had to dive into, it's
Probably Photoshop, maybe?
well, Photoshop and of course After Effects. And After Effects is a beast. Your computer needs to be powerful, and you have to be pretty well organized and understand how After Effects works to make those, just that 2 seconds worth of graphic takes a lot of time to make.
Well, Ace, it sounds like you learned a lot through this process, and it looks like there's a lot that we can actually watch by watching the video clip that you made yourself. Well, thank you so much for that, Ace. Well, that wraps it up for today's Members Only. If you'd like to see more about the shows we've talked about today, you can check them out on CMAC's channels, Xfinity 93, as well as UVerse 99. If you have or don't have Comcast Xfinity or AT&T UVerse, you can watch the live stream on www.cmac.tv under the Watch tab. Thanks again for our guests, Alvin Areizaga and Ace Dunn, and thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.